Hey y'all, thank you so much for clicking on my video, and if you're returning, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to discuss the latest update regarding Prince Harry's stay in the UK and the fact that the royal family, or King Charles, rescinded an invitation that had already been accepted. Feminegra calls them out for not only the hypocrisy, but the attempt to manage the optics to make Harry look a certain way, and why that is not working. Nor will that ever work, and I look forward to discussing that more in this video. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and let's get started. This article is in Feminegra, written by Miss Historian, titled Prince Harry was offered a Buckingham Palace room, then King Charles's palace pulled the rug. First, the public was told Prince Harry had been offered a place to stay at Buckingham Palace. Then we were told he did not accept in time. Then the story shifted to say he accepted after realizing Meghan Sussex and their children would not be coming. And now, according to Rebecca English, his acceptance, quote, came too late and apparently, quote, couldn't be facilitated or staffed. In a 775-room palace, there was somehow no room at the Royal Inn. And honestly, it probably would not have made a difference anyway, with palace sources now suggesting they no longer want to host him because of the court judgment with the Daily Fail. If anyone still believes the palace and its media allies are not coordinating a campaign of hate against the Sussexes, I have a bridge to sell you. So this was never about a missed deadline. It was always about making Prince Harry look difficult. The BBC initially reported that Prince Harry had accepted the invitation. Quote, Prince Harry has formally accepted an invitation to stay at Buckingham Palace for part of his visit to London this week, a spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex has confirmed. His stay at the palace will take place as part of a trip to the UK to get ready for the Invictus Games, which will be held in Birmingham next year, and charity events. It is understood that he will not be accompanied by his wife Meghan and their two children, Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana, when he visits London after it was confirmed that the family would not be provided with taxpayer-funded police security. A spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex said the accommodation offer had been withdrawn after Prince Harry formally accepted it. The spokesperson said Tuesday's judgment in his Associated Newspapers Limited case was cited as the reason. So concerns about the king's constitutional position have made it, quote, inappropriate to have his son stay in a royal residence. This sounds like a setup. I feel like this is part 2 of a story we've already seen, and it ended tragically. Quote, following Rovek's decision not to provide security for his family, the Duke spent last week making alternative security arrangements. Once those arrangements were in place, he was able to formally accept the offer of accommodation for himself over the weekend. It is therefore disappointing that the offer has now been withdrawn, with Tuesday's judgment in the Associated Newspapers Limited case cited as the reason. Buckingham Palace has, however, been aware of that judgment since last Thursday. It is therefore unclear why, having formally accepted the accommodation offer, it has now been withdrawn at the last moment. Spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex to ITVX. This whole Buckingham Palace accommodation story feels like palace humiliation by briefing. Firstly, the public is told Harry was offered a place to stay. Then we are told he did not accept in time. Then we are told he accepted after realizing Meghan and the children would not be coming. Now there is apparently no room at the Royal Inn because it's inappropriate for the king to accommodate his son because his son took the media to court. That's crazy. I can't keep my son safe or even spend quality time with my son because of his relationship with the media, yet they claim the invisible contract doesn't exist. Not only does the invisible contract exist, it sounds more like a leash and a muzzle. Who's really pulling the strings here? Quote, the date clash is a coincidence. Harry can't dictate when a judge might deliver their decision any more than he can dictate that the UK police should provide armed security for his visit. Still, it makes for excruciating timing for the king, who has offered his younger son royal accommodation during the stay and has always warned against such litigation. Harry is unlikely to let any judgment pass without comment, which means that he could end up issuing a statement from a royal residence. Meghan has so far kept far away from the court action and did not accompany Harry when he gave evidence in January, saying that the press had made his wife's life a misery. That is from Kate Manzi of The Times. Harry cannot control when a judge hands down a ruling, and he cannot control Rovek's decision on security. Yet the palace somehow turned both issues into a reason to make his accommodation look conditional. Meanwhile, Prince William has benefited from publicly supported royal housing and has taken legal action against media outlets without being treated as a constitutional problem. He sure has. The language around this story is also very telling. They keep stressing that Harry will be, quote, staying alone, as though that is not the exact outcome the institution seems to prefer. His family was cut off, and Harry was isolated on UK soil. Harry is left to deal with the palace briefing machine by himself. Again, the media looks ridiculous as they keep spinning King Charles as a loving grandfather desperate to see his mixed-race grandchildren. Mrs. Historian is funny. But these actions by the king are callous and cruel, and they should not shock the public. Charles's treatment of Diana has long shaped how many people view him, and his treatment of Harry will now only deepen that suspicion. These latest actions make it fair to question how much care he truly has for Prince Harry. Charles, in conjunction with the press, does not appear to want reconciliation. He appears to want control. Offer Harry accommodation, brief the details, pull the rug, then make the story about Harry being a problem. The palace gets the optics of the generosity without having to provide the reality of care. At this point, the accommodation itself almost feels secondary. A bed at Buckingham Palace was never going to fix the deeper problem. Harry's family still did not feel safe enough to come to London. Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet are still absent. And the same press machine that spent years demanding reconciliation is now turning even a canceled room offer into another opportunity to blame Harry. That is what makes the whole episode so revealing. The palace can find endless ways to brief, delay, qualify, and withdraw. What it cannot seem to provide is a clear, humane path for Harry to return with his family safely and without public humiliation. The contrast is ugly. Prince Harry repaid the £2.4 million renovation cost for Frogmore Cottage and was later evicted by King Charles, his own father, from the one UK home that gave his family privacy and continuity. Now, even temporary accommodation is being treated like a privilege he must earn without causing institutional discomfort. So no, this does not look like a family trying to heal. It looks like an institution trying to manage optics while keeping Prince Harry isolated, exposed, and blamed. Charles may want credit for extending an olive branch, but an olive branch that can be withdrawn at the last minute is not reconciliation. It's leverage. And the more these stories are briefed into the press, the clearer the picture becomes. Harry is welcome only when he is controlled. Thank you so much for watching the Sharion Sade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. I feel like Miss Historian and her assessment and her final thoughts was accurate. The entire game that they're playing with Prince Harry, but also with Meghan, Archie, and Lilibet, it's callous, it's cruel, it's unnecessary, and it's only continuing to drive that suspicion that the public has for the royal family and the firm and the way that they've played dirty in the past. It's only driving that even deeper. It's widening that gap between those who like the royals, not including the Sussexes, but those who like the established firm as it is, and those who deeply, deeply dislike them, and they see them for the hump of bullshit that they actually are. Now, I don't mind when they're cosplaying these old traditions and they're putting on their big gowns and their big robes and they're standing on balconies. I don't mind when they're doing the theatrics. Go for it. Have fun. It gives people something to do. I like characters. When I've gone to Universal and I've gone to Six Flags, I love seeing the characters pop out in their little outfits. I know it's not real, but am I having fun? Yes. I love seeing Daffy Duck come around the corner. I love seeing Bugs Bunny. Do I genuinely think that Bugs Bunny is going to jump in a rabbit hole once the park closes at the end of the night? No. I know this isn't the real Bugs Bunny. I'm just having a good time. Do I know that Wile E. Coyote is not actually trying to kill the Roadrunner at the end of all this? Yes. But am I having fun while I'm here? Yes. That's how I feel about the royal family. Their outfits, their cosplaying, their ridiculous carriages, the theatrics. Have at it, friend. But when you start taking on this medieval approach to your family and you start acting out in aggression and abuse, and you start continuing to confirm all of the racism claims that we heard in the beginning that none of us doubted, none of us with a soul and none of us with any kind of discernment doubted from the very beginning. But once you continue to perpetuate those things because you have all these quote unquote traditions and protocols, then I have to look at you crazy. You're actually putting people's lives in danger because of protocols. You're putting people's lives in danger because of an invisible contract, because you want to be front page on the news or in the papers and you want priority reporting. You want to be reported on kindly. Like, you are so concerned with your reputation, and the bare minimum at that, because if you were truly concerned with your reputation, you would bother to be a decent human being. But that's asking way too much of anyone still in that firm. But you're so concerned with manufacturing a certain reputation that you would be willing to let your son come to harm or fall in harm's way because you want to prove a point and you want to keep your allies in the media. And not once are you even second guessing anyone who would even want me to hurt my son. Why would I want them to be an ally? Is that really an ally? And the answer to that is no. To any parent who takes any kind of approach that's even similar to this, royal or not, if anyone is asking you to withdraw or withhold love from your child. I'm not saying you have to support them 100% in everything they do. You don't have to bear the financial brunt of anything they do, etc. After a certain age, there's so many caveats, so many scenarios. I'm not speaking on every one, but what I am saying is, in a general sense, if there is an entity asking you to withdraw love from your child, to intentionally try and harm your child or put your child in harm's way, that is probably not an entity you should be aligned with. And if that is an entity that you want to be aligned with, you should know anyone asking you to harm your child doesn't care about you either. But you're too stupid to see that. And so Prince Harry is going to do what he has to do. He has work he has to do. The work is important. He is hard-led. He is mission-driven, and he's going to do what he has to do for Invictus, no matter how difficult the royal family tries to make it for him. Because as we've seen, he's going to overcome, and they're going to be left with all the waste they tried to throw his way. It's only going to continue. What's sad is that none of them have seen the benefit or even just seen enough ahead in the future and say, hey, pattern recognition here. If we keep doing things the way we're doing them, we're going to continue to bear the brunt of looking bad in the public and making zero progress, but also continuing to look frivolous. They're paying for us, taxpayers are paying for us to be bullies to one of the ones they like. Eventually, they're going to have enough of that. They're going to get enough of that and overthrow us. They're going to come in here and drag us out and fight us in the street. They're going to stone us. They're going to get sick of it. People get tired of playing into bullying. People get tired of playing into the majority beating on the minority. People get tired of watching as the little guy or the underdog gets pummeled. Eventually, they get upset and they want to do something about it. Eventually, they go buy a carton of eggs and they take aim. Eventually, they stop showing up to your walkabouts and you have all of this crowd management in place, all these crowd management barriers in place, and then there's no crowd. And then you look stupid again. And this continues to happen. They have no idea that the way they're treating Harry and Meghan and the way they've behaved towards these two innocent people and their two innocent children is having an impact on how they're seen by the public they want to be adored by. They're not even making that correlation. That's just a testament to how stupid they are. A lot of times a person who's filled with audacity and cruelty, there's no room left in their brain for common sense. It's one or the other. Either you're going to be cruel and audacious or you're going to be smart and logical. And they've made their choice. So we can sit back and watch as the public finally grows weary and these walkabouts get real interesting as people say, hey, I've been wanting to see Harry for a few years now. I've been wanting to see Meghan for a few years now. I've been wanting to see the kids for a few years now. You're standing in the way of that. Take this egg real quick. People are going to get sick of it. When they go places, they're going to continue to get booed. They're going to continue to have to deal with the crowd voicing their concerns as they should. They're going to have to keep seeing those yellow signs, the ones I love to see pop up in the crowd. Whenever I see them, I'm like, oh, my people are here. Republic has a fan in me. With that said, this is not going to stop Harry. This is not going to stop Meghan. But what it does do is, I think after this experience, unfortunately, the actions of the royal family and the group of people who are trying to harm Harry and Meghan, it impacts the entire country. and surrounding areas. And eventually we're going to see that, because after a while, I'm sure the Invictus Games Foundation and Prince Harry are going to get sick of having to jump over and through all this damn red tape that is intentionally being created by the royal family, the firm, and Rob Egg. Eventually they're going to say, you know what? We're just not going to bring the games back here. We're not going to bring any more events back here. The next time we do a 20-year anniversary, we're just going to do it somewhere else. We're not going to come here because it's only creating strife and it's only working against the plan. It's stifling the momentum, and it's unfair to the veterans and their families that we're looking to support. How unfair. The royal family is not just impacting Harry, which is bad enough. They're impacting Harry's family, and they're impacting thousands of veterans and thousands of families who are looking to celebrate with Harry. They are creating havoc. And eventually those people, especially those based in the UK, especially those who served with Harry, they're going to get tired of that. And they're going to voice their concerns. And I look forward to the day for those with access who actually can bend the ear of the king, who can bend the ear of William, who can bend the ear of those in Robert, those who have access, those who have served with Harry, those who have worked with Harry, those who know Harry. Eventually, I can't wait for the day where those people who have access to these people can say, hey, you're creating a real problem. And maybe coming from a person they know or trust or that has access to them in a physical sense and they can look them in the eye, maybe that will get through to them. But I'm going to be honest, it's going to take a lot more than that to get through to deeply rooted hatred. Those people are pretty much DOA. People who live in hatred, that's all they are. They let it consume them, and they don't have an identity outside of that, which is why those people look like decrepit old cretins and walking corpses. There's nothing else to them other than the hatred they spew and the privilege they work so hard to maintain. Anyway, I said all that to say, Harry's going to overcome this. The Sussex family's going to overcome this. Invictus is going to overcome this. And it's going to be a thought in the rear view a few years from now. But I hope they, I hate to say this, but I hope they do recognize that although the fans in the UK and the military in the UK and the families in the UK deserve to experience Invictus as well, I would even say they deserve to experience Invictus first. It's so unfair that the royal family is standing in the way of that. And I hope that Invictus Foundation and Harry and his family no longer have to deal with this. I hope moving forward, until things can change, they just choose to remove Invictus from the UK altogether until things can be different. I do think this may impact Meghan's ability to even be at Invictus next year. And what a horrible thing to think, that she wouldn't be able to truly celebrate this incredible experience with her husband. She probably watches him as he's on the phone at late night and making these phone calls and making these plans and writing things down and having these meetings and getting inspired and talking about the games and what we're going to do next and who we're going to get next and how we're going to plan this next. And she's probably present and excited for all that. And the fact that her safety could be impeded upon if she were to attend is so, so sad. I hope that moving forward, because of the way the royal family and Robeck have chosen to operate, that they choose not to put the Sussex family through this anymore. And how sad for the veterans and their families in the UK. How sad for the fun spectators and the fans in the UK who have done nothing wrong, who have watched Harry grow up from the time that he was a boy and would love to look and attend and experience something that he created. There are people out there who have seen Prince Harry from the moment he was born, in the arms of his mother on the steps of the hospital, who would love to see what he grew up to do and experience that and cheer him on and bring that good positive energy to the environment. And they can't because of the royal family's abuse of him. Eventually people are going to get sick of that shit. And that's the point I'm waiting on. When I see those boos, it seems mean and cruel, but when I see those boos, when I see those signs, I say, yes, use your voice. You have a God-given right to use your voice and express yourself, and please do so. Offer all the support you can to express your disdain for the abuse of Prince Harry and his family. God, somebody has to, because his whole family's not. How sad. Anyway, I hope, and this is again me saying, I live in reality, but I can hold out for hope. I hope they're able to do something so that Meghan and the children are able to experience Invictus in whatever they want to, in whatever way they want to next year. But it is a damn shame that this is even a conversation. So those are my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share so that more people can find us. Patreon members, you guys got a new video over the weekend, so I hope you enjoy, and I look forward to your comments. And there are new videos coming from members this week as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.